Hi Julia Watts here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to have another look at the new festive collection for 2025 from Sentimentally Yours. And this time we're going to be looking at the new mini bauble set. So these are the layered mini baubles. And as with the opulence and the elegance, it is a DL die set. And it comes on with a magnetic sheet. There are 27 dies in this one. And you will find them over on my website juliawattscrafts.co.uk if I've got any stock left, and also over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk again if there's any stock left. As with always, the festive collections, they're not reordered, so once they're gone, they have gone. So as I said, we've got 27 dies in this set, all on a magnetic sheet, and as you can see, we've got 6 different mini bauble shapes. We've got little mini bauble toppers. This funny shape one here, the sort of like pear drop one. This one goes with the heart. So you can see that's going to fit there onto the heart. So, I mean, baubles aren't necessarily just for Christmas, especially the heart one. You can use that for weddings and anniversaries, obviously the star one, superstar, all that sort of thing. But yeah, lots and lots of different shapes, and each one has got 3 layers to it. And the middle layer of each bauble has this pierced detail to it, which does marry up beautifully with the layered differently dies, both series 1 and series 2. And I'm going to be using them with some series 2 dies, because series 1 is, well, it's all gone, I think. Right, and we've also got some hangy bits with some ribbons on there. There's a separate ribbon on its own, packed full of lots and lots of baubles. And unlike the opulence bauble, you can put these onto square cards quite easily. I mean, you can put the opulence bauble onto a square card as well, but you know, it fits nicely onto an A5. But these will go onto a square card really nicely, and a dinky little one. So we're going to make a 6x6 square card, and I'm teaming it up with the new Grandeur squares from Layered Differently. There we go, and the Grandeur squares. And the largest die on this will fit on a 6x6 card, so that's what we're going to work with. So I'll take my card blank in inverted commas, because they're going to the studio, no point wasting any card. So this is 14.8 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres, which is the size of a 6x6 card, because it's actually the envelope that is 6x6. And I'm going to go for a slightly different colour. We are going to use warm stone with this, which I think is going to be nice and interesting and quite elegant, I think. So the largest die from the Grandeur squares, with that lovely rounded corner with the pierced detail, which coordinates with your baubles, has been cut using the warm stone card. And then for the next layer, I've used pure white card, and can you see I have embossed it? And this is with the new, I'm trying to think of the name of it. This is the Nordic Snowflakes. Might have squares in the name. I'll put it in the description. Sorry, it's one of the new ones, and it's one of the new 3D embossing folders from Sentimentally Yours. So when you do this, run it through your embossing folder, but miss both sides before you pop it in your folder, and then run your folder in through your machine kind of this way. So you can see that's the open side down here, that's your fold there, and put it sideways on, and then you get less shrinkage that way, because obviously the card's got to go somewhere, so the water helps it go in and out of the folder. It's not as deep an emboss as the other 3 new folders, but it does have 3 levels to it, and it's very, very fine detail. You can see all those little dots on there. It's really beautiful, really lovely, and you can see that you could actually cut these into individual squares and mix and match colours, which I think would be absolutely fabulous. So that's my background. So we're going to stick that down straight away and put it under my mat as per usual. Just use some Sentimentally Yours PVA. Depending on how much water you've used when you actually emboss, sometimes you might want to flatten it out underneath a heavy book, or I've got an MDF sheet underneath here just to flatten it, because obviously as the water dries, sometimes there's a little bit of movement in the card. But this one's not too bad. I'm going to pop that down there. Have a look at it, see if it's straight. Looks pretty straight to me. And then that's just going to go underneath my mat, underneath the MDF sheet until later. So we're also going to use some of these circles here from your Grandeur squares. So the largest one I've cut out of gold mirror card. Then the next largest one I have cut out of the warm stone. And then the middle one, so the third, number 3, 1, 2, 3, or 5, 4, 3, I've cut out of the white card. So you can see that they're going to mat and layer beautifully like that. And of course you can mix around where you're going to put your layers. You can kind of do them like that if you want to, and then this one could then move back again, and you can do all sorts of different patterns with the Grandeur squares. I'm going to just use them layered up as is, but we are going to stamp a background on this first before we stick it together. Let's stick these 2 layers together first, and they can be drying underneath my mat. I need to remember that I'm going to stamp on that other layer. I'm not going to, am I going to put a sentiment? I think I am going to put a sentiment on here actually, because I've actually cut one out. But it will only be a diddy little sentiment, so it won't say Happy Christmas. So what we're going to do is actually stamp Happy Christmas lots and lots of times on this piece here, which is our background. So this is mirror card, so the card likes to move around a bit. So be careful if you are putting it underneath something that it is actually where you want it before you put it there, and you don't accidentally move it. It does mean that it's very forgiving and it lets you move things around. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's going to go underneath it as well. And as I said, we're going to stamp on this here. Let's move stuff out of the way. Do I want to stamp on? I think we'll just do it on here like this. I was wondering whether I wanted to put a mat underneath it. I'm not going to bother. So we're going to use sentiment from the Festive Charm Sentiments and Extras, which you will find over at Honeypot Crafts. And I love the font on this. So we're just going to use Happy Christmas lots. I prefer Happy to Merry because I don't drink. That's just me. Obviously you could use some of the smaller ones, some of the verses, you could mix them up, but I'm just going to use the same one over and over and over, and so hopefully it won't be too bad, because there's a bit of black ink on that, and when you use new ink it wakes up the old ink. It is a background, so I'm not going to stress too much. I'm just going to see how I stamp first. So this is why a bit of paper is really very handy. Fabulous. I am going to stand up and try and stamp around the camera. So we're going to start with one up in the middle there. So off the page. This will take a little while. And then we'll go there like that. Because I never know where I'm going with it, I just ink it all up. I can't think around where I need to have it. Okay. And then I think we'll move over a bit here as well, again. Just take your time. And don't worry if I know how inky these the new colours of the Versafine Clair are very, very inky. I'm not sure if I told you this is Sand Dune. So I'm not worried if it's a little bit blotchy here and there. I'm just not going to stress at all. So we'll move over again a little bit more. In fact, let's do it this way. So we get the whole of the Happy Christmas on this line. So it just doesn't look like it's all stepped. I'm quite mucky. I'm a mucky stamper. You watch, the last one I do will be wonky. That's part of the course. We'll go right off here, I think. Just something different, making your own backgrounds. Obviously, if you haven't got time, you can use some background paper. Or of course, you could just stamp it. You can just run it through embossing folder. The new embossing folders are stunning. And because there's 4 to choose from, you can easily use 2 different ones on a card. Oh, sorry, not the camera. We might have the whistling window again this time. Who knows? Let's have Happy there. Like that. Try and mix it up so that you see different parts of the sentiment. So we need a little bit over here. Oh, that's my finger in it. I need a little bit of Christmas over here. So Happy there like that. Nearly there. See, I nearly just did the one side and then I'd have made a mess. I think that one's wonky. Doesn't matter because it's going off the page. As you can see, this other mess I've got on this piece of paper. You can't really see what's going on, can you? Let's have Happy Christmas there like that. That's a bigger gap, Julia. Need a little bit there. I don't think we need anything else. I think we're good. There we are. There's our background. That's going to be the middle bit up there. And I'll keep the ink pad out actually because we'll stamp a sentiment while we're at it. Where's my kitchen one? There it is. Wipe. Okay. So I'm for the sentiment. I don't know why I've still got that. We're going to use, because we've got Happy Christmas, Happy Christmas, Happy Christmas. I've got from the Grandeur squares. Where are we? There we are. We've got these 2 little inverted squares in the centre, and they've both got this pierced detail on them. So we're going to stamp from the heart sentiments. We're just going to stamp the For You in there because it kind of covers Christmas, birthdays, all occasions, doesn't it really? So we're going to just stamp that in the centre. I'm not sure if this is available anywhere, but I know a lot of you have got this. Let me have a look, see if I can get it straight. There we go, there's for you. And that will go on the bigger one that's done with warm stone. And while we are stamping as well, we'll just go through the bauble that we're going to put on here. Oh, let's put that away. Good to do all these bits and pieces in one go. Although we probably should go through the ball. We can do that stamping in a minute. Right. Let's look at the bauble. So we've got our inner thingy, what's it, layer. And then we're using the star bauble. Look at my bits. Dinky little topper. Right. Where's my die set? There it is. Right, so as I said, we're using the star. So I've cut the largest star out of the gold mirror card, and that's going to go in here, like so. Looks fab on that background, doesn't it? Fab. And then the next size one is the one with the pierced detail on it. So I cut that out of warm stone, and then that will go on there like so. I think it's an equal star, bi-pointed star. I don't think it's got one that's a different size. Phil might tell you something different. Then we've got the smallest one, which is a plain one, which is going to go in the middle. Now I thought it might be nice to actually stamp something in the middle. It's very small for a sentiment, very small for a sentiment, but what we could do is put a snowflake in the centre. I need to use my card blanket to stamp on then. Let's turn this over for now. Right. So we've got in that same stamp set the Festive Charm one. Festive Charm Sentimentally Extras. We've actually got 3 different snowflakes. So that one will really fill it. I know you can't see. That one won't quite fill it. So I think I'm going to go for this big one, because then it will all drop off the edge. It might look a right mess, in which case we'll pause and do another one. But I think it's worth a go. I think it's worth a go. Put my Happy Christmas back. I'm going to grab this. And we're sticking with the sand dune, because it does work very well with the warm stone and also with the gold mirror card. And it saves having to stamp and emboss. Right, let me have a look. So, it's not going to go all over all of it, so we could choose actually not to have any on that middle one. Let's go squiff. I don't know if it moved. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Let me pick it up. Just adds a little bit of detail, doesn't it? So that'll go in the middle of that like that. Cool. Happy with that. I like it when a plan comes together, even when you're going to stamp around a camera, which honestly, if you've never tried it, I wouldn't suggest that you do, because it isn't easy at all. Right. So let's stick these 3 pieces together and then we'll look at what else is happening with this bauble. And we might as well stick our sentiment on our backer as well while we're at it. I do quite often forget to put a sentiment on. I get it all ready and then I forget to stick it on. There's been more than one video where I've added it after I finish recording. And if I've already said to you, thanks for watching, I can't really then add another bit on the end because nobody will watch it because they think it's the end. So, anywho, that's just me. Mirror card moving around as always. Nightmare. Give it a chance to stick. Oh, come on. Did I put any glue on that? There is glue on it. No, it's moving. Have you ever tried sticking card to mirror card? It's an absolute nightmare. It looks lovely when you do it, but it's a bit of a pain in the you know what. I don't know if that is actually even. Let me just try it and see if it's better that way. I don't think Phil's told me whether these are even or not. I don't remember him telling me. I hope they are, because otherwise it's an absolute nightmare. Right. I think we're stuck. Stick, stick, stick. This is a case of this has got to go underneath my mat in a minute. So we put our little white layer on. Tweezers for that. I don't think it matters which way it goes. I'm just going to put it underneath here just for a sec. I hope it doesn't move the wrong place. This is going to go on here. A lovely stamped background. Obviously very unique. It won't be the same twice. And you could do this card in lots and lots of different combinations. These new dies are great for batch making when you want to make lots of Christmas cards, which of course you will. So just decide which is going to be the top. It doesn't really matter at this minute. It's just going to go in one of those layers like so. Lovely. So that really, really comes together once you've got it on there. Fabulous. Okie dokie. I'll get our sentiment on here. Remind me to use this. Because I am absolutely hopeless at remembering anything at all. So no mirror card on this because there's only 2 layers. Just like there's only 2 layers on the biggest layers, the base layers, there's just 2. Just that pop of mirror card just adds a bit of elegance to it, I think. The warm stone is a beautiful colour card though. I use it a lot because the sand dune Versafine Clair works very beautifully with it as well. Right, let's see where our layers are. I'll leave that border there for a minute. Just put this to one side and we will pop this on our card blank in inverted commas, and I'm going to do this on foam tape, but obviously you don't need to. You can do everything flat. Bit of foam tape does add a little bit of it does look a little bit more expensive if you add some foam tape, but obviously if you're posting it, it's going to be, well, it's probably going to be a large letter anyway. You just don't want to go into parcel territory really. Even if you stick a pearl on a card, it takes you into large letter territory, so just be aware of that.
You probably get away with a 3mm pearl, but if you stick a 8mm pearl on, it's definitely a parcel. So put a bit of Prit on, so we can move it if we need to. Put this on wank. And so this is a 6x6. You could extrapolate it out a bit, put another couple of layers on and make it a 7x7 if that's your card size of choice. Good. And then this is going to go on. Oh, need bone tape on there first before I put Prit on it. We're still not committed because I'm not using a proper card. We still don't need to worry too much if I put it on upside down. But obviously, if you're putting it on a proper card, make sure your opening is on the right hand side. It's not the end of the world if you don't do it right, because you know you can just about get it off if you use a Prit. But not for long. You can't go away and an hour later then notice it, because that will be too late. So we're going to put it on the right way. We've got that pointing up. It's going to go in the middle. That's a little bit wonky. So we're going to have it that way. It's not. I've not done it quite in the middle. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Okie dokie. So that's where we're at. So let's get stuck now. Now with the bauble, we've got options. So this is one of the kind of ribbons. So there's two ribbons here. This is this one that's got kind of very, very curly bits on it. So we could, oh, we need to put this on first actually. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. This is your topper. Let's dab some of that excess glue off because there's far too much glue on there. I think they're all the same. There might be, they're probably slightly different. It's hard to know which one is the exact one. Some of them look fatter. That one looks fatter than that one. Yes, it is. Oh, goodness knows. But anyway, that one fits. So we've got our little topper on. Oh, come on, focus camera. There you go. Okay, so we can take our ribbon. Where's my ribbon? Here it is. So which is this one. And we can pop it through. And we can have it then hanging. Glue it and have it hanging if we want to. I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to have a float, a hanging bauble on this one. So I've cut this ribbon out here. And we're just going to stick this onto the holy bit there. That's what we're going to do with this. Hopefully it'll stick. Mirror. It's not, this is not mirror onto mirror, because the back of your mirror card is get rid of some of that. The back of your mirror card is like just a creamy card. So we're going to have that just there. Go on, you move your so and so. A little bit of red liner tape actually wouldn't be come amiss actually to do this. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And then we're going to just pop that in the middle like that, and then we're going to bring the sentiment and pop the sentiment down here like that. Okay, so I think we're going to pop the sentiment on pretty flat. We just have a little tiny bit, teeny tiny bit. Where's my scissors? Right next to me, of course they are. See, I'm remembering the sentiment. Oh, I think I need a medal. So just a little bit of foam tape. I might need a little bit more actually. I think I need some. Have I got any one? Oh, I've got some thin stuff. This might help me. I don't think this is one. I think this is like half. It's very thin. Because you've got the depth of 3 pieces of card there. Let's see, how would that be? It's still got a bit of a step, so I need a little bit more. So 1 would have been perfect. It's still going down a bit. A little bit more. Perhaps 1 wouldn't have been perfect. Maybe what this needs to be 1.5. I'll probably find out that I needed 2. No, I think 2 would have been a bit deeper. The mirror card's quite thick though. I think something like 300 GSM. That's perfect now. Right, okay. So let's have glue on the other side. I know I've not got my bauble stuck yet. I'm trying not to touch it until the mirror card is stuck. I think that's straight. Looks straight. Okay. And we're going to just glue this on, I think. We're not going to have this stuck upper layer at all. But you know, you could do this with all the other shapes as well. There's so many different permutations that you can do with this set. And it's so pretty. I've got far too much glue on that. We're going to dab some of that off. And we'll have it in the middle there. Pretty. And we'll just finish it off with a pearl in each corner. I'm going to use the 5mm. These are the Gold Star pearls. So we want my pickup tool. Might as well, right? They're not going to make it any thicker, are they? Because we've already got the height on there. Right, so put glue in each corner. And we are done. Don't forget you can do this as well. It would work really well with the Regency squares from the first layer differently, which is probably my favourite of the first layer differently. And then we'll work with the rectangles as well. You can use multiple ones with a rectangle. Watch out for a video with that. Come here. I'm amazed that the 8s come out first, really, because they're bigger and you'd think they'd be in the bottom of the pot, but no. They like to be seen the 8mm pearls on this pot. Have I got another one? Yes, I have. Good. Okay. The pearls are in the right place. Yep. Yep, they look good to me. So there we are. There's a 6x6 card using the new layered mini baubles from Sentimentally Yours, which, as I said, you'll find them over on my website, which is juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and also over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk too. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, which is where you are now. There are lots and lots of videos on there and lots more to come. And just need to say thank you for watching.